People who became successful after the age of 40, Part 1, Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill is one of the most recognized names in modern history, remembered for his determination, powerful speeches, and leadership during Britain's darkest hours. But what many people don't realize is that Churchill's greatest success came long after most men would have retired. He was not a young hero who rose early and stayed on top all his life. Instead, he was a man who spent decades struggling, failing, and being written off by his peers, only to step into greatness after the age of 40. Early life and military beginnings. Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874, into an aristocratic family. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a prominent politician, and his mother, Jenny Jerome, was an American socialite. Despite his privileged background, Churchill's childhood was not easy. He struggled in school, often branded as a poor student, and was seen as unlikely to succeed academically. However, he had determination. After finally getting into the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst, he began his career as an officer. Young Churchill developed a reputation for bravery, even recklessness. He saw combat in India, Sudan, and South Africa, and he also became a war correspondent. His writings from the battlefield made him popular with the British public, giving him his first taste of fame. Political rise and early failures. By the early 1900s, Churchill entered politics, winning a seat in Parliament at just 25 years old. He quickly made a name for himself as a fiery speaker. Yet his political journey was rocky. Churchill switched parties from the Conservatives to the Liberals and back again, which made many distrust him. One of his greatest blunders came during World War I, when he was First Lord of the Admiralty. Churchill pushed for the Gallipoli campaign in 1915, which ended in disaster and massive loss of life. The failure nearly destroyed his career. Many considered him finished, and he spent years in political exile. The wilderness years. After returning to politics, Churchill remained controversial. In the 1920s and 1930s, he was often out of step with the public and his party. He opposed India's independence, resisted reforms, and was viewed as old-fashioned. Many saw him as a relic of the past. During this time, Churchill warned about the dangers of Nazi Germany while others ignored the threat. His warnings were dismissed as fear-mongering. Newspapers mocked him, colleagues avoided him, and he was pushed to the political sidelines. These years, often called his wilderness years, stretched well into his 60s. Called to lead after 65, everything changed in 1940. When World War II broke out, Britain soon realized that its leadership was weak. Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain had failed to stop Hitler's aggression, and the country was in crisis. At the age of 65, Winston Churchill was called back into power and made Prime Minister. This was the turning point of his life. For decades, Churchill had been ignored, laughed at, or underestimated. But now, all his past failures, experiences, and warnings prepared him for this exact moment. Britain was on the brink of invasion, its cities bombed nightly, its soldiers struggling in Europe. Many believed Britain would fall. Yet Churchill refused to surrender. Through his radio broadcasts and speeches in Parliament, he inspired hope when there seemed to be none. His famous words, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall never surrender," rallied the British people to resist at all costs. His determination and refusal to compromise with Hitler helped keep Britain standing until the Allies turned the tide of the war. Global legacy. Under Churchill's leadership, Britain survived the Blitz, stood alone against Nazi Germany, and later joined the Allies in liberating Europe. His leadership after the age of 65 changed the course of world history. Even after the war, Churchill's story wasn't simple. He lost the 1945 election, only to return as Prime Minister in 1951 at the age of 76. He continued writing, producing a 6-volume history of World War II, which won him the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953. He remained active in public life until poor health forced his retirement. The lesson of Churchill's life. Churchill's story is not just about political leadership, it's about perseverance. He faced failure after failure, ridicule, and long years of being ignored. Most people would have quit, but he did not. His greatest work came after 40, after 50, and even after 60. His life reminds us that greatness is not always immediate. Sometimes the seeds of success take decades to grow. Every setback he endured, every mistake he made became part of the foundation that allowed him to rise when the world needed him most. Conclusion. Winston Churchill became a symbol of resilience, courage, and determination. His greatest victories came when he was considered too old, too outdated, and too finished to matter. Instead, he showed the world that age is no barrier to destiny. Churchill's life declares to anyone over 40, it's not too late. Your finest hour may still be ahead of you. Kindly subscribe for great videos like this.